Hi everyone, welcome back. It's been a little while since I've played with some new makeup, so I've got a bunch of things here that are either new on the market or new to me that I've been accumulating for the last month or so. So I am doing mostly a full face of makeup except for base. I've already got my base done. I used my Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm Powder as primer, and then I used the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation, my Armani Luminous Silk Concealer, and my brows. But I'm gonna do basically all things color today with you. I thought I would create a look today that focuses on the I'm cold makeup trend, which I'm sure you've seen all over TikTok and Instagram, and I actually haven't done there. But it's a makeup look that I've been doing for a long time. I've often described it as like snow bunny cheeks, or when you're in from the cold and you have that like frosty cold sort of flush across your cheeks and nose. And the way to do this and to get this kind of look usually is to use a cool toned pink, something like a raspberry or like a plum sort of shade that suits a lot of different complexions in creating that natural cold flushed look. So I've got a bunch of new things here that I think will help me achieve that look. And to me, this is just like a very classic wintry look. I'm not gonna go for anything too exaggerated just because that's not really my makeup style, but you certainly could punch these up if you want a more dramatic look. So let's start with cheeks. If you've watched my videos, you will know that I really love the Axiology Lip to Lid Balmies. And these are cream products. They come in like a little crayon stick, and you can use them all over the face, but I especially love them on the cheeks. And they released a new shade called Nude Plum that I thought would be perfect for this kind of look. And one thing that I really love about Axiology is that the entire brand is completely plastic free. So their packaging is all recycled and recyclable paper, and the actual crayons themselves don't have any packaging except for the paper that wraps around them, which I think is really smart. And it's not just green sustainable claims. It's not greenwashing. They actually don't use any plastic in their packaging. This is their new shade called Nude Plum. I'll swatch it for you here. Here's a swatch of it. It's almost like a pink with a bit of plum in it. It's a really beautiful shade, perfect for this kind of look, I think. I actually like to take a brush and kind of pick up product from the stick itself. This just gives me a lot of control in application, and because this is in stick form, you could swipe it across the cheeks, but I just like creating a more diffused look this way. I'm just gonna stamp this across my cheeks, and I think you can even see in how that applies, how that method of picking up the product really diffuses the application across the cheeks. Oh, actually, let me zoom you in a little bit. Okay, I zoomed you in a little bit so you could see the application. When I go for this kind of cheek look, I take it really broadly across the face. I even take it into my temples, up here, across my cheekbones where you would apply highlighter. You're going to want that really flushed look all through the face. And then you kind of take it across the bridge of the nose as well. This is such a great formula. It is stiff enough to stay in stick form, but actually it really melts into the cheek in such a beautiful way. It's not too dewy. It's not super balmy, but it does give you a nice natural sheen. I think you can see right there. And connect across the nose. I'm not gonna go too intense across the nose just because, again, I'm not going for very like caricature sort of makeup, but I do think it gives you that really youthful flush like you've just come in from playing out in the snow. I don't think I'm going to use bronzer or contour for this look because it's really about that translucency of the skin and that flush coming through and that youthful bounce in the cheeks, like especially across the apples of the cheeks. And I don't want there to be too much shape or sculpting in the face. Other blushes that I love for this kind of look are the Rose Inc Azalea Cream Blush and Make Beauty's their cream blush stick in the shade Slush, I think. And that's another purpley pink sort of shade that looks much deeper in the stick form, but once it's on the cheeks, it gives you that really beautiful berry very toned flush across the cheeks. For eyes, I want to keep things super simple. I was actually thinking I really want to capture the twinkle of snow, like sun hitting the snow, that fresh twinkle of light reflecting across like ice crystals. So I'm actually not really going to do much color. I'm only going to use a sheer topper. So right now I have my eyes primed. I did powder them and I used a bit of concealer just to cover up any redness. So my eyelids are very even toned with the rest of my skin. I'm going to reach into a palette that is kind of the opposite of what I'm talking about, but there's a shade in here that I really want to use, and that is Danessa Myricks Lightwork Volume 4. I've done a full review of this. I've done 8 different eye looks using this palette. It's one of my favorite releases of 2022. But specifically, there's this shade called Angels right here that looks white in the pan, but it is just pressed shimmer, and it's pressed like silvery shimmer. I'll show you how it looks on the back of my hand. So when you apply it really densely, you get silver, but then when you pat it out, it turns into just like a beautiful frosty sheen. I also recently talked about Bodyography's glitter pigment in the shade Halo, and it's a very similar thing to this. It's just a pressed silver shade. This one's a little bit more shimmery, a little less glittery, so I'm gonna go for this. Like I said, I do not want a lot of pigment coming through. I don't want it to look like I'm wearing silver eyeshadow. I just want this to kind of kiss the surface of the skin. So I'm going to very, very lightly press and distribute the topper twinkly particles across my eye. I'm going to be really generous with this, and I'm taking it basically all the way up to the brow bone from the lash line. Same thing on this side, just patting to disperse the particles. See what I mean? It's really not about the base color, but just about how that eyeshadow kind of catches the light when you turn at an angle. It just gives you that kind of frosty snowflake kind of look. I do feel like I need a little bit of powder, so I'm going to take my Fit Glow Beauty translucent powder and just lightly set the T-zone. For mascara, I'm going to use a newish mascara to me. This is the Velour, what's this called? The Pretty Big Deal Peptide and Tubing Mascara. So it's a tubing mascara, which we love, and it has, you know, like a peptide growth serum in the formula itself. And I actually really love this wand. So you can see it's a really beautiful package. It has this like black, shiny lacquered exterior. And the brush itself is pretty fat, but it's curved and it has some distinct grooves in there. And even though it's a thick wand, it's not too long, so I'm actually able to maneuver it around my lash line pretty well, and I've really been enjoying this. This is a tubing mascara that's actually pretty good at building volume, but I'm actually just applying very little and going more for length. And I do want more separation than volume because for this look, I want it to look very youthful and not too heavy in terms of lashes or eyeliner. Let's finish off with lips. A little while ago, M Cosmetics sent over their soft-spoken velvet lip cremes, and there are 5 shades, or at least I have 5 shades. And specifically, I wanted to use the shade Intuition, which has a plummy undertone. So these are a velvet lip creme. They're matte in finish and kind of very much in line with that whipped moussey feel. So this is the shade Intuition. It's kind of perfect for the color story we have going on. I just swatched the rest of these for you so you can see what the shades are like. So starting here, we have Intuition, then Whisper, Petal, Manifest, and Tender. Like I said, I'm gonna use the shade Intuition, and I think I wanna go for a blurred look. I'm just gonna start with the middle of my lips and have the most color there and have it sort of blur out toward my lip lines. This does have that classic sort of silicone-y feel that a lot of lip cremes do, but I really like the applicator. It's kind of pointed, I think you can see, so it gives you a lot of control. I really like this shade. It definitely does have a plum undertone, but there's actually a lot of pink in it, and I feel like it actually matches the Axiology, what was this, nude plum shade really well. They're kind of perfectly in the same color family. You know what? I think that's it for this look. I kind of like how minimal and scaled back it is. It's really focused on tone rather than complexity, just those sheer flushes of cool toned pinks, plums, but I'm kind of into the minimalism of that. I am gonna finish off with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. They sent this over to me and I've been wanting to try it forever. I know everyone loves it, says it's amazing. I finally was able to try it and I have really been liking it. It's a very fine spray. It's a very fine mist. It does have a bit of a floral fragrance, which is not my favorite, but it's very lightweight on the skin, it sets down, and it does keep my makeup in place for a long time. So I'm excited to have finally tried this. So that's it, keeping it short and sweet today. I don't think I'm gonna do a check-in comment like I usually do because I know how all of these things wear. The Axiology blush formula wears all day long. It does not fade on me. It is a cream, but it sets down and it really stays put throughout the day. So I know that's gonna last. I've also tested out the eyeshadow palette. I've tested out the mascara. I know they're gonna last all day. The velour mascara does come off very easily like a tubing mascara should with warm water. And the lip creme is relatively long lasting because it's a matte formula. If you eat or drink, it will fade in the center of your lips, but it's easy to reapply, really easy to blur out with a finger and blend. You don't need to like take it off and reapply the whole thing. I am working on my yearly roundup content, so my best of 2022, and I would love to know if you want to see everything in one very long video, or if you want me to break them up into categories like makeup, skincare, and then fragrance, hair care, body, all of that stuff. I also have a few other sort of videos that I have in mind in terms of favorite brand discoveries of 2022, some subcategories of the best of 2022. So stay tuned for that. Let me know if you have a preference. I know that we tend to like long videos and I like long videos on my platform, but I know that if I want to really get into the nitty-gritty, I may have to break up some of the categories, but let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!